Well, we got a yard full of migrating Canadian geese, and the ducks have graciously invited them onto the pond. And for the end of January, it's about 50 degrees and pretty nice out today. But on the subject of migrants, these are migrating Canadians. Let's see if I can get a little better picture. But here's something that's been rolling around the back of my mind. You know, these migrants that come up because they want good jobs and better life and what have you. And that's good. I work with a lot of guys doing construction. I work with a lot of guys that are from, everywhere from, Eastern Europe. Worked with guys from the islands, the Caribbean, from South America. And for the most part, everybody that wants to work are pretty good people, and I don't have a problem with them. And some of them got their paperwork and came over and set up shop. Some of them came up illegally, decided I really, with the idea of I'm going to make some money and go home with it and get myself set up, back home. And they decided I really love it here, and they jumped through the hoops and they got their paperwork, and now they're legal citizens. In New Jersey, they kind of changed the rules where you can get a driver's license if you're illegal or not. So now everything's kind of a gray matter mess on what anybody's status is. But like Pennsylvania is not a sanctuary state, and if you're illegal, you're probably going to end up in jail. But here's the thing: people are comparing it to we need workers and stuff, and to an extent, yeah. But this isn't like during the late 1800s, the early 1900s, during the Industrial Revolution, where you just needed bodies next to machines. You don't need bodies next to machines. Any manufacturing, 90% of it is automated. The machine makes the whatever you're making. You need, basically back labor to, package and, shipping, receiving, materials handlers. But the actual, making engines, that's on a CNC. Somebody programs a machine. Somebody puts a block on, a chunk of metal on it, and then the machine does the rest of the work. You don't need 30 guys. But we're heading into an AI revolution, and it's kind of like the technology revolution, in the late 80s, when, look around for a secretarial school now. Look for a typist, help wanted typist. You used to have office buildings and entire floors were just tables with typewriters and people typing, because you needed 3 copies of something. Somebody had to type it 3 times. And the secretary would take the notes in shorthand, and they would hand it down to the typing pool, and the typing pool read shorthand, and they would type it and format it, and that's what happened. And then the Xerox machine, you don't need 3 to 5 or whatever copies of something. You type it once, and then you could just Xerox it, and it worked fine. And then you had word processors, so you don't need the secretaries started disappearing, the typists they disappeared. Now we're getting into AI. Even middle management was affected, because you have somebody with 5 guys keeping track of stocks or commodities price or whatever, and all of a sudden you have a program that would do that for you. And then you have the birth of day trading and derivatives and everything else. But now we're going to an AI revolution, where even a talk show host on the radio could be replaced. It's the number of bodies that are going to be needed to do things is going to go down dramatically. And I really don't know what low-skilled workers are going to be doing. I tell my kids, all the kids that I'm coming in contact with, is I go to trade school, because if you're working with your hands doing, mechanical work, it's going to be a long time before a machine is priced to the point where, your mom and pop garage that repairs cars can buy a machine that'll fix cars for them. Until that time, they're going to need mechanics. Construction, logging, forestry, whatever. The actual hard work trades are probably going to be around a lot longer. You got vacuum cleaners that are, they bang around, they map the place, and they vacuum your house for you. I'm sure it won't be long before the big landscapers are replacing all the guys on lawnmowers, with a robotic, self-thinking, whatever, self-operating. Type in the parameters of what gets mowed, and turn the thing on. It's going to mow the grass for you. Picking vegetables, all that. That's all mechanical now. Part of the reason why that advanced to the point where it's mechanically picked is because of the FDA rules and the Obama's Safe Food Act, where it makes it impossible to meet the guidelines to have workers pick fruit, pick vegetables, pick whatever. So all your sweet corn in the grocery store is picked by, looks like a combine, but it picks sweet corn. About a 50% waste rate because it smashes, mangles everything up. But grapes, everything gets 90% of the food you see in the store is mechanically picked. But my point is, what are all these immigrants going to do when they when this AI really starts taking off in the next few years? I hate to put it in such terms, but I really think there's just going to be a lot more mouths to feed with less resources. They're not coming over here. Maybe their children or their grandchildren or whatever. But you don't have a line of engineers coming over here, or guys that are going to build prototypes. And I really think that the real problem with these open border immigration, I really think the problems are right around the corner. And anyway, that's my thoughts on migrating Canadian geese and migrants coming across the border. You all have a great day.